welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. Thank you for joining us as we bring you key stories shaping Nigeria today. I will begin with a brief review of the newspaper headlines and then move into our main discussion. You know how we do it on the show now. So you can join the conversation by liking, following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. You can as well share. Thank you. So I am Kende Bodering.
And I am Henry Igubike.
All right, so joining us this morning is Barrister Evans Ufeli, who is a barrister and a public affairs analyst. We also have Mr. Emeka Madunagu, who is also a journalist and a public affairs analyst. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Barrister, who joins us from Ontario in Canada, and Emeka joins us from Lagos State, Nigeria. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here. Truly do appreciate your time, and good morning to you all.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Thank you. All right, beautiful. So let's kickstart with the Punch newspaper for today. We have the big story: travels. The presidency spends 34 billion naira on forex in 2 years. We have a rider to that story. Foreign trips, the aircraft maintenance cost fall as FX purchases plunged 83% in 2025.
Wow. On the top strip, we have coup. I was marked for arrest, assassination, and this is coming from the defense minister.
And also close to that story, DHQ faces heat as military personnel bypass airport checks.
Okay, we have Ondo in fresh battle over oil-rich boundary island.
Yes, and after the outcry and what happened against the protesters, the Makoko protesters, we have it that Lagos Assembly to meet community and leaders on Tuesday. That is tomorrow, isn't it? Yes, beautiful. Yeah.
So we also have Oshu Assembly, APC chairman clash over local government funds. Wow.
All right, so let's kickstart with the big story. Travels. Presidency spends 34 billion naira on forex in 2 years, and we have it. The story equally is the same with what is on the Daily Trust newspaper. Tinubu abroad, 22 days in 1 month. That's actually very scary. I'd love to start with you, Barrister Vance Ufeli. What do you make of this, really? That a president who said it is his turn, he understands better how to translate Nigeria, make it a wonderful country, is spending more time in a foreign country than doing that in Nigeria. How do you explain that, Barrister?
Yes. He's doing that because he feels he's the only one competent to rule the country. That has been the approach of this president. And little wonder they are trying to deal with the army right now that made an attempt on taking over. That is not to say I support the army's those who plan the coup, which they denied before now. But it's part of it. First, the president is not in control of the country. That's the truth. Not in control. He's not even in control of our foreign affairs. Because most of the country he goes to, when he comes back, he promised that investors are coming. We have not seen any investors till today. Remember, some time ago, he said two investors have come to sign. The date, we've not seen anything. So, gallivanting around, moving up and down from one place to another, to places where he's called and places where he's not called, and then sometimes falling up and down. It's what he feels governance is about. Instead of sitting down to plan the economy of the country, to pull the strings, the right strings, and do the right thing to push Nigeria forward. What he's doing is moving up and down. Appointments are haphazard, not getting even the right people. The economy is in bad shape. He's not able to project politically. And all we've seen is shambles. And then you keep talking about tax, and all that. So it's an unfortunate situation we find ourselves. And to say that this is coming at a time where So many countries are trying to put their citizens out of poverty, to bring them into abundance, and to create an avenue for good governance across the globe. I mean, look at the discussion in Davos. Look at how nations prioritize its citizens. Okay. Look at how leaders are thinking, okay, across the globe. Ours is not that case. We are even the worst hit in terms of economic fortune, prosperity. But our leaders are not thinking at all. You can see our National Assembly. You can see our ministers. What exactly are they thinking? What exactly are they, what is the blueprint for Nigerians' growth, for the emancipation of the citizens, the economy, the prospect? What is the plan? What is the blueprint? Where are we going to? And how are we going to get there? What are the blocks being put together now for where we are going to? How do we redeem education, our people from poverty, bring them into light and education? How do you prioritize the people's need and their wants, electricity, education, all the things that government should prioritize? We're not doing any of that. We're just gallivanting. And it starts from the head. Once the president is not getting it right. I know there are a lot of people who say, no, it's the president, somebody told me yesterday that he's the father of modern democracy. That Tinubu is the father of modern democracy. The people in Nigeria even speak much more highly of him than people even outside. The people who are really suffering are the people who speak highly of him. He must have a very devious political method that he uses to oppress and crush people. At the same time, they praise him. They move from all their political parties to his own political party, and they keep doing that and that. Just see that going on. You just ask yourself, what exactly is this man using? Is this politics? What exactly is this? What is going on? You can't really tell what's going on.
Emeka, Henry, I don't know if you ever imagine having this huge amount of money, invested in Nigeria. It could be in our economy, it could be in our tourist centers, it could be anything that would even help the citizens. So just imagine that we have this huge money invested or put in this economy. In fact, other countries will come and, as in, they will bring their mattress, they will bring everything that they have, and they will dominate this. They will stay here for a very long time. So over to you, Mr. Emeka. So what does this 34 billion naira travel spending say about governance priorities?
Well, let's first of all accept the fact that in governance, travels are an important part. Yes, officials must travel, the president must travel, vice president and others for different engagements. Now, but it now behoves on those people occupying those offices to look at the situation on the ground. This is the age of technology.
Yeah.
You can actually, do a road show on the internet. If, let's say, you want to maybe privatize, maybe you want to sell one asset, like this Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. Now, let's say you want to publicize it and bring investors. You understand?
Yes.
You can actually do a road show online without stepping out of Nigeria. It's as simple as that. There are consultants, you can just pay a little money, and they will do serious razzmatazz for you. All that intending investors need to do is contact their embassy. The American embassy, all the embassies have, they have adequate information, updated information about the business environment in Nigeria and about everything, security situation and all of that. So you don't need to say you're going to meet foreign investors to come to Nigeria. There are people already here who will tell them, this is it. So spending such money, flying to where? to achieve what? The other day, President Donald Trump of the United States was giving his scorecard and talking about how much investment he had brought into the United States since he started his second term.
Yeah.
Now, what have these people brought? You see them, they keep struggling, to look for, things they can claim to have achieved. But for a government that has achieved something, you don't need to struggle hard. So they're just wasting money and having a jamboree. They've been to COP, the COP summit, on the environment. What have they gained? They've been to Azerbaijan, been to different places. What has Nigeria gained? South Africa today, much of the electricity production is from coal. But Nigeria, are we generating electricity from coal? The answer is no. And the national grid keeps collapsing. Whereas you have coal in Enugu, you have coal in Kogi, and maybe one or two other places. You have, different means by which you can bypass the national grid, and ensure that there's 24 hours power supply in this country, not just gas or hydro. But are they achieving that? They are not achieving it. So it just tells you that these guys are just, on a free show. And then now, let me tell you for free that the 2027 elections will be worse than 2023 elections because the IPoB, National Assembly under IPoB, has made sure that the Electoral Act, the amendment they are doing will just be dead on arrival. It will be just like what happened in 2019. There won't be any Electoral Act before INEC brings out there, because INEC must bring us its notice of election this month, this February. If it wants to hold the election in February next year, it must bring it out. So that means it's going to have to use the 2022 Electoral Act. So that's why these guys are on the poll. But it's sad. It's sad, honestly. Thank you.
Very so sad, really. We can't overstate, some of these things, and it's riddled all over the newspaper headlines, especially with the Guardian newspaper, which we will go into right now. On the top should have Tinubu's reform saved 27 states from collapse. That's coming from one of his blind loyalists, actually. But let's get to the talking point here, in sympathical with what Emeka had just raised. The House defends a delay in passage of Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Barrister, speak to us on this. This should be a follow-up to what Emeka has just started. What's your take on this, please?
Yeah, Tinubu's greatest fear is the electronic transmission of results. That's his greatest fear. He doesn't want to, you see, when they were transmitting electronically during the 2023 election, he knew what happened, who the lead, what it was. And as at that time, he has not even started leading. He has not even come to destroy what is left of the country. So now that he has destroyed what is left of the country, now that he has ruptured the country economically, his greatest fear is that if reverse is used this time around, and if there's electronic transmission, there's a tendency, there's a strong indication that he may not even make it. He may not even win up to 2 states. It's a very strong indication. You understand? And so he does not want, you see, this National Assembly is doing, it's all planned out. The National Assembly are working in cahoots with the executive, the president in particular, to ensure that before that amendment gets on board, it would have been late. They will not be able to use it for the next election, and then you will see what will play out. I mean, if you look at it, the president cleverly has avoided it. The Electoral Act is not an executive bill. It's a legislative bill that has been with them in the House since. They are marked for amendment. The amendment has been with them since. But because of the fact that they need this next election to go by without that document, because in the new amendment, they have now made the electronic transmission compulsory. Okay?
Yeah.
Before now, the National Assembly made it look like it was compulsory. When the court now ruled, they say it's a mere guideline. Okay? And those sections now that enabled Tinubu, that enabled him in 2023 elections, that have now been pinned down for amendment and now been amended. If you go into the election with those sections the way they are now, as properly amended, he has no chance. He has no chance. Even without the amendment, he still has no chance. Under any condition, he has no chance under any condition. You understand? But
Yes.
the Nigerian politics or election in Nigeria is by coercion, rigging, vote buying, all kind of vices. They will introduce all kind of vices. Just watch now, in the next quarter of this year, the federal government will introduce one intervention scheme. They will introduce one intervention scheme. And that intervention scheme, for you to qualify to get it, you have to show your voter's card, you have to show you are properly registered to vote, and you have to make certain kind of commitments before you get those empowerments. It will start in the next quarter, in the next half or next quarter of this year. In preparation for that election, it becomes, subtle vote buying, just like the Buhari government used Osibajo to propagate. That's one of the ways. And they've laid the groundwork already for the next election, using the chiefs, the obas, the community leaders, the governors who are jumping now to PDP. The president have used the resources of the state to fritter on them, increase their allocations, increase everything they were getting before. They are getting like times 4 of it. And now the president is the greatest president ever that ever lived, according to governors in Nigeria. Governors who even in their own state, their idea, their resources, they are not able to manage the resources of their own state and getting almost times 4 of what they used to get now. They will still not be able to use it for the benefit of the state. Rather, they will use it to propagate for the next election. So the Nigerian politics is that the people are left out of the equation. And when the people are left out of the equation, it's no longer democracy. It's no longer governance. So what you have is just a group of criminals stealing the resources of state to empower their families and to protect their future. That's exactly what you have. There's no other thing to be added to this. And the system enable it, because even the people who are the worst hit also praise them and enable them and make sure that they are protected. If you go on the X space now, or you go to the Facebook anywhere, there's a way you talk about the president and those the loyalists of that you will see when you will be attacked, vilified, and those attacking and vilifying are people who have nothing, who are the worst hit, who you are far better off. Now you'll be asking yourself, what is happening to them? Why are they have been conditioned to act that way? They have been conditioned to be slaves, and they will continue to act like one. And that is their unfortunate situation.
It's unfortunate.
But it's just unfortunate because it's really a bad feeling when we have a country where the citizen want to really make things work out. We want to have our rights to vote, our rights to do so many things, and would even have this that would how do I put it, that would really take this country to another level. But it just looks like if we don't have a government that is not ready to take responsibility of that or cooperate with the citizens and all. So
but just before we go, we have less than 90 seconds to do that. Let's go entertainment now, but this time around take it to politics if it's possible. Just yesterday, Nigerian Afrobeat pioneer Fela Anikulapo Kuti was posthumously honored with the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2026 Special Merit Award at the Grammys. But the funny thing is, Bayo Ononuga and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu congratulated Fela for the award and said he was the voice of the voiceless. Now the question to you, Emeka, is if Fela was around with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing all that he's doing, what do you think will be the reaction? And how would President Bola Ahmed Tinubu go ahead to possibly take on Fela if he was alive today? Emeka, are you there?
I've been too old by now for that. You know, I've been too old. Because about Fela, whether alive or dead, Fela remains a movement. Fela was a movement. And that movement continues to speak. That's why you see people keep playing his music.
Yeah.
You know, people keep referencing his advocacy. And that's why the other day I saw one small boy, one kid, trying to equate himself with Fela. Honestly, I couldn't believe my ears. I mean, what's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of that? From where to where? No. So Fela's music continues to speak for him, even in death. So if he were alive, maybe, well, who knows? Maybe it would have been granted press conferences and all that, but these fellows right there, honestly, all that tribute they're giving to Fela is just ceremonial. They don't mean it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Barrister, what's your last take on that? Especially as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is around holding down dissenting voices, and the cybercrime is still awake and really dealing with Nigerians. What's your take on this? If this was Fela at his prime and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the leader of the country?
Well, it was a good one that Fela won it. I mean, he has had many nominations whilst he was alive and after his death, but I didn't won it. But yesterday, at least, we didn't lose out completely.
Yeah.
Even though yesterday was not a very good day for me, we've all yearned for Davido to win at least the best African performing artist yesterday.
Yeah.
And Tyler took it again. Tyler took it again
for the
second time. And when you also look at the work that Tyler put out there, and her dancing skill, and her physique and her ability to make moves with rhythm, and match it with the voice. Match it with the voice. He deserves it. It's just that the competition is tight. It's tight because the song nominated, the song nominated too, is one that has been described even by Forbes as one of the greatest songs of all time. Okay, so I believe that someday the video will get it in the nearest future. Most likely because this year the workings for the next album for the year and all that is in great gear, and we're rooting for him. Most of us who believe in the video across the globe, we're rooting for him. It's a good one that Fela got it. Well, as to your question, that politicians don't have shame. Politicians don't have shame. Even if Fela were to be alive, you will see politicians when they want to talk. Just like when Attorney Joshua won the heavyweight, Ogun State said that it is their investment on Attorney Joshua that brought the belt. You understand? And when people do exploits, the federal government will jump into the middle of the fray and say that they will look for something to say that they've contributed and made it happen and all that. So, well, fine and good. We didn't lose out entirely, sadly, and I'm happy that at least those who will always want to compare Fela with Wizkid. I don't know anything Wizkid. The last Wizkid song that made any sense was Essence with Thames, and it was Thames. It was even Thames that gave it breath. Okay, that's what gave it breath. And the first Grammy that Wizkid won was the one he collaborated with
Beyonce.
what's her name?
Beyonce. Yeah.
Yes. That's the collab is what gave me. And when you look at it, I don't want to, because I know that there are a lot of whiskey FC here. You understand? But I should let them know that when it comes to Nigerian music, I am much more grounded in the Nigerian music, because they are the ones who are saying, no, whiskey. Because they too don't know fella. But I am from a generation X that know both sides. I know whiskey when it started, and I know usually, well, I started listening to Fela's music as, well, I was 13. I was 13 there when I started listening to Fela's music, just by the Calabria Republic, there, where Computer Village is now. That used to be one of the places he was before, and the place he moved from to that place before he then came to the shrine here. So sometimes when we talk music, we're talking not because we hate the modern musician, but because we have a knowledge of the two streams. Okay, yeah, those Generation X, those born in the 80s, we have knowledge of the two streams, and we can actually compare it. Yeah. But the Gen Z, they just know one way. They'll just tell you that whiskey's music is giving. As long as it's giving, it's giving. And they don't want to hear any other thing. It's a single story they want to use. And you cannot succeed with a single story in a generation where you have both sides. Yeah. So we're happy that it went well yesterday.
Yes, a great one. We are so excited for the win, even if no Nigerian, won. We had Omale, we had Burna Boy, we had Wizkid, we have Davido, and one South African had to take everything quite so aside.
But I just feel that maybe in the next one, we would take everything.
Yes,
because
well, we can't take everything because it's
we'll
just
take
one
everything.
award.
Are you forgetting that Nigeria is
one award as
giant of Africa?
Yeah. So
no,
maybe we have to
everything.
have more categories, so that Nigerians would have the opportunity of course, sitting through. But just to let you know that both gentlemen will be here to take us on our main conversation. Onitsha traders head for a showdown over a Monday seat at home. In a beat, Enterprise Morning it is. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Thank you so very much for joining us. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television from our corporate headquarters in Lagos State, Nigeria. Let's move straight to our conversation for today, where we have it that tension is high in Onitsha. Today, as Governor Chukwuma Soludo, Professor, and traders of the Onitsha Main Market brace for decisive confrontation over the continued observance of the Monday seat at home in Anambra State. The governor is determined to end the weekly shutdown introduced by the Indigenous People of Biafra IPoB to protest the detention of its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, citing its devastating impact on the state's economy. Last week, Soludo ordered the one-week closure of the Onitsha Main Market, directing that it must reopen today, 2nd of February.
Very true. Now, the directive triggered protest by suspected IPoB sympathizers who declared a sit-at-home across major markets in the southeast. However, security sources say the state government, backed by security agencies, is resolute in ensuring markets open and business activities resume unhindered. Now, a joint security meeting was held over the weekend to finalize deployment plans for today's operation in Onitsha and other commercial centers.
Meanwhile, market leaders have been engaging agitators and traders urging calm and cooperation. A prominent trader, Kezie Nwadiogu, appealed to shop owners to open, warning that non-compliance could justify drastic government action, including demolitions. Now, we have Emeka Madunagu and Barrister Evans. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here. I'd love to start with you, Emeka Madunagu. You are at home right here in Nigeria. Just before the show, I had called you to get updates of what's happening down there, and you gave me some very chilling things happening. Please, I would love you to help us fleshing out some of those things so that Nigerians both at home and those in the diaspora who might not have the opportunity to have seen some of these things to maybe get that from us right here on Enterprise Television.
Yeah, thank you very much. The situation this morning is one of, although government were said to have showed up in some parts of Onitsha this morning and neighboring Umpo, and they were, firing bullets. There was a guy who was rushing, to go and at least pick passengers early, because Onitsha Main Market, the way it operates, people just gather early before the market starts opening from section to section. But his vehicle was destroyed. His boss, they broke all the glasses. But in fact, was lucky not to have been killed. One lady who went to her shop, Main Market, said the whole place was empty. That security agents were asking her what she came to do. So there was an apprehension. I think, it is one thing, like there's a proverb my people have that. It's one thing, if you pass 6, doesn't mean you pass. Those days about past standard 6 then, the equivalent today you have this. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you very well now.
I said, yeah, just like asking somebody, if you pass a GCE or YX, doesn't mean that you pass sense. That is that you have a good sense. You see, Soludo, has been too overbearing in terms of issues about Anambra State. That was how he came to my town last year. We had a running battle with him last year. My town, Nnobi, has one of the 6 traditional markets in Anambra. These are markets that have been there for so many years. They were set up by the people. Soludo came that he wanted to set up a train station, that he wanted to set up a bus station, blah, 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 that we should move the market elsewhere, that we should give him 2 years. He will rebuild the market, blah, blah, blah. Up till now, we've not seen, in fact, the people have not even agreed on where to move the market. We've not even seen a single block from Soludo. We've got all those stories. The same thing he went to tell them in Onitsha Main Market. Don't worry, give me 2 years. How can you rebuild an entire market in 2 years? Even if you have a funding from World Bank, how can you rebuild it in 2 years? Then the traders asked him, what will we be doing in those 2 years? He had no answer. So that tells you that he has his own idea in his mind. He has the idea of this greater Onitsha, whereby part of it will be like Lekki or Banana Island in Lagos. So developers will come in. Onitsha Main Market is close to River Niger, so developers will come in. Then from the River Niger, they would build his fanciful projects and all that. But you see, these things do not happen overnight. If you're talking about a place like Lagos, it's different. There are different ethnicities, that want to maybe get shops in plazas in Lagos. But ask me, outside the Igbo man, and then maybe, generally, 95%, those who want to take such shops will still be Igbo people. But maybe if it's in Lagos, you have people, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Northerners, even foreigners. But how many want to take such shops? So I've been told that yes, Onitsha Main Market needs to be upgraded, it needs a facelift. But there's a way you handle things. Then secondly, this issue of sit at home was gradually dying. Because during the youth time, the traders tested it. On 2 Mondays, they came to the market, and they were going to eat them. So they were targeting that, okay, let's allow January pass. Then by February, let's see how we can start, coming to the market on Mondays, gradually reopening on Mondays and all of that. Soludo just went. This is the same man that in the, during his first time, he will call their leaders. I want to increase the levies. So I want to increase the rates in the market too. He increased it for 3/8 of IPoB's time. He increased it to, I think 38 or over 40,000 now per shop. But they are paying. He's making billions from Onitsha market because there are about 20 to 30 markets in Onitsha. He just suddenly woke up and decided to, play to the gallery. Someone was even saying that in the recorded video that, is part of Nigeria's agreement with Turkey to send Turkish mercenaries to the southeast, so that Soludo was just playing, his script. I don't know how true that is. But if you remember that Saido Kubo had actually said
all right, I think we lost Emeka there, and also Barrister Van Sofeli. I'd love to believe that they will join back so we can have this discussion going on, because it's very sensitive, and we need to really talk about it, because some of these things that happen today in Nigeria is quite mind-boggling. This is not the first time we're having leaders in the country. Nigeria is 65 years plus now, and it's still 66 this year, and it's still difficult to understand how we cannot have leaders who would understand how to navigate Nigeria to the better place.
Well, I feel our leaders know what to do. Right, yeah. It's just like you knowing what to do. Okay, you want to have breakfast. You know that okay, you are hungry, you need to have this breakfast, but you just want to starve yourself. Maybe when it gets to 11 or 12, you will now okay, let me just have my breakfast, and that breakfast now has become brunch. You understand? So what am I trying? I'm trying to say that the government actually knows what to do, how to go about it, how to make Nigeria not just a big state, a country, but a country that is going to be like a peaceful dominance, right? So the thing is, it's not just comfortable when you wake up in the morning and you start hearing stories, oh, the government wants to do this, and you be like, but we didn't, what was really going on? I think we have our guest.
Okay, all right. Barrister, thank you so very much for joining us. Emeka, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, yes, please just conclude on your thoughts. Sorry for the little break there.
So just to conclude, Soludo is, Soludo. That's the real pronunciation of his name. That is respect to Udo deity. Soludo is just behaving whimsically. He needs to rein himself. Does he think the other governors of the Southeast are stupid? Alex Otiomabi has been working quietly, even with it at home. So why can't he just take things easy? Talk with these traders quietly, so that gradually they can remove it at home. Of course, you've heard of Gentle Yahoo that they say has been suffering. And then it's in that same time you are bringing up this kind of. I don't know. The man needs to help himself. Thank you.
And help Anambra State too. So, Barrister Evans, please, this question I would want you to help us add flesh to it, or just answer it because it's your field. Yeah. So, the question is the threat to revoke shop allocations under the Land Use Act legally enforceable?
Well, under the Land Use Act, every land in the state is entrusted in the governor, who holds it in trust for the people. Okay? The states own the market. Okay? And so the governor heads the states. Okay? So policies around the market and issues that surrounds that as an international market is one that falls squarely on the purview of the state government and the state which the governor superintends. Okay, but I don't like the way Soludo is going about this issue. I don't like the way it's going about it. You don't fight war with the people. You don't war with your people. The people that you are meant to lead. You don't war with them. That is not democracy. And I don't know where he got this model from. This, if you don't listen to me, I will whip all of you to line. I will deal with you. I will lock. I will revoke. I will do. You know that yesterday I was reading someone when he said that he can turn that market, he can revoke and turn the market to a school.
Yes.
And I asked myself that you turn what to a school? Who will attend the school? You think that, see, whatever you want to do with that place, it's people that will make it to succeed.
Yeah.
Even your leadership, it's people that will make it to succeed. So when you come and say you want to this teacher and child's situation, you look down on the people you are meant to lead and tell them that you will revoke the market, you turn it to a school. When you turn it to a school, you can go and enforce people who will come and be in the school. You understand? You are asking these people they should no longer abide by the sit at home, they should come out, open their businesses and all that. First, it's a private business.
Yeah.
It's largely people's prerogative to decide whether they want to come out to business or not. It's not your business. That's one. Two, the sit at home thing, you are asking them to come out. You don't have security for them. You can't guarantee their security. You have escort. You move with escort, you move with all sorts of security and all that. The people have no such security. You understand? What you are supposed to do is to enable them to see how you can reason together, have meetings with them, and see how this can be eased off systematically. Like Meka said, the thing was already even dying down. The proponents are already tired of the sit-at-home thing because it has affected the economy in a way that is unimaginable. We know that. But that when you go and wake up the situation, because because now that you have gotten a second term, there's nothing to lose again. So whether they comply or not, you can do whatsoever you want to do. But if a governor thinks that he can fight the people squarely, he will end up ruining himself. Because I think it was during the MBA conference, we went to the MBA conference and we went by road. And we drove through Anambra to Enugu and all that. I've not seen anything that this man have done. Maybe because I don't live there. Maybe. Or maybe because I don't know the state of Anambra before he came. But I know that Obiano did quite reasonably. So what is it that Soludo has done in Anambra? That can give him this excessive moral temerity to say you want to close the international market. That market predated the colonial era.
Yeah.
That market has been there far back into time. Okay? And that market has made a lot of people across the world, across the globe. Whatever decision you take in that market will affect the world. It's an international market. It's not a backyard market. You understand? So the fact that it is providentially located in Onitsha, your domain, is something that should give you pride. Okay? So that you are able to contribute your quota administratively to uplift it. If there are any challenge or challenges facing or militating against the market, like the sit-at-home and any other thing, you can only put heads together as a governor, as executive governor, call your cabinet together, let them sit together and proffer solutions. But to just wake up and say, if you don't, I will just turn it to a school. If you, I will bring bulldozer. He said it now. They will bring bulldozer and level the place. And the way he was talking, you were asking yourself, if you bulldoze this place and destroy people's goods and all that, this person whom you are destroying them, where are they from? Many of them are most likely from your village. Many of them are your kinsmen. But they are all your kinsmen. So these people are the people you are meant to lead. So all you need to do is to ensure that you make policies that will promote their businesses and not to destroy it. That is what a leader should do.
Yes, just to interject, I'd love to interject for a beat here. You are a lover of the academia. And the reason people go through the four walls of school is to get equipped with the right kind of reasoning and rational thinking to acting on whatever it is that they want, no matter how complex it is. Why then is it difficult for a professor, a first-class graduate of economics, the youngest professor at the time, at 39, why is it difficult for this man to understand how to better utilize his ability to solve very simple problem?
Well, academic prowess is not leadership. You can be brilliant academically. You can even be intelligent. But the ability to organize people, the ability to, use emotional intelligence and the right kind of strategy to govern or to lead people may not be there. Some of these attributes are inborn. Sometimes they are inborn. Because you need patience if you are dealing with people. Okay, these people did not just one day decide that they're going to be staying at home. Something led to that.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your contribution? What is your contribution so far to the menace or to the problem that surrounds Nnamdi Kanu situation? Because that's the remote cause. Okay, that's the remote cause of what is going on. Okay, that led to the sit at home. That this man, even when the court said that the extraordinary rendition was bad, that the army went to his house, he was irresponsible, made all sorts of pronouncements, even struck out the case at some point. The federal government went on appeal, and because of the injustice meted at him, and the wrongful judgment, because I still call that judgment wrongful, I've laid out all the parameters of how that judgment was wrong, illegal, in previous video in this station. So, and all that put together, it seems the people are not happy about it. So instead of you to console them, give them reasons why you are pursuing to ensure that he gets out of that situation, but that in the interim, they must come back to business. Because whatever it is the state is today is as a result of the collective hard work of everyone involved. While we pursue the case on appeal, they just filed the appeal and all that to see the options of appeal. Resume business. Okay, we're working on his situation, his case. Then this is the business, resume on Monday. This is the security that will guide you once you resume. Okay, go about your normal business. We have beef up security in this area. We have created all the avenues to ensure that you are not attacked, your goods and services are not destroyed, and all that. You have to lead the people in a way they will understand. But just wake up and just drive to the market with heavy security. With heavy security, you went to the market to say that why they will not come out. And if with those age, you will turn it to a school. I don't understand what is going on.
All right.
I expected more from Soludo. I expected more from him. I expected him to understand the terrain, the parameters. What people, when they first declared this sit at home thing, people resisted it. People came out. The reason they started complying is because of the heavy attack that came on those who went to their businesses on Mondays. Many of them were killed. Many of them were maimed. Some were shot. There are videos all over the place. So that's why people decided to stay back. Now that thing that's going on is still ongoing. Have you solved the problem? Have you provided security for them? Ask them to go and you want them to be killed. So we should give things a human face. I don't think it's the right way to go.
Give things a human face. And just before we leave, Emeka, just before you ask possibly your last question on this, Emeka, from 1959 to 1966, we had Michael Opara, the premier of the eastern region of Nigeria. He, like Nnamdi Kanu, took a region that was below par and took it to a very awesome place. What is wrong with leadership of today? Is it evolution? What has happened to leadership, to accountability today, Emeka?
The problem is lack of intellectual depth. Many of our leaders, when we talk about poor reading culture, I mean, it's not just about a few people. It affects a cross-section of the population. It affects every segment of the population. So when people don't read, when people don't compare notes, when people don't have peer review, don't engage in peer review, you see them engage in archaic, outdated practices. You see, some of those people have been arguing with me, no, that this, that, and the other. The 7 billion, they say 7 billion or 5 billion was lost every Monday. And I said, for all the years you'll be making the 7 billion every Monday, Why haven't you brought, why hasn't Soludo achieved the Dubai and Taiwan he talked about in Onitsha? Why hasn't Onitsha become, I mean, by now Onitsha should be challenging even Dubai in terms of revenue generation. So the problem with these leaders is that they don't know that leadership, first of all, begins with servanthood. You must be ready to serve. And one of the things that Awolowo, the late Premier of the Western Region, Obafemi Awolowo, told his people at the time, he said, look, don't talk too much about the things you have. Because outsiders will be watching and they'll be calculating how to divide you and come in and make gain from those things. So people coming out to talk, who is he trying to impress? Hey, we are losing 5 billion every Monday. How? The traders active. Have we not been paying our taxes? I mean, if I don't come to shop on one day, like there's a saying that Onitsha Main Market doesn't know who didn't come to shop, right?
Yeah.
So, you're not only say it's laziness. Soludo doesn't own a shop in Onitsha Main Market. I have relatives in Onitsha Main Market. Sometimes I go there and sit down with them, I will be selling, doing one thing or the other. I also join them in eating all those their delicacies. There is the one they call pure. Beans and some other things like that. I immerse myself. There was a time I went to Tejo Show Market. I immersed myself there for 3 days. Then I go to Dumota Market from time to time. I immersed myself a whole day. I'll be in the market, just watching how things are going. So that when I make my advocacy in terms of anything that has to do with commerce or the market, I went there. I know what I'm talking about. Ask the question, does Soludo own a market, own a shop in Onitsha Main Market? Yes, I concede to him that yes, Onitsha Main Market needs upgrading. Some of the streets are too narrow. Some buildings have encroached, shop extensions have encroached on the roads and all of that. I agree. But there are things that are discussed within a family. It's not everything you come out to say in the public because you don't know who is listening.
Yeah.
That's where I have my grounds with Soludo. Even if Onitsha Main Market is this, is that, you want to demolish. It's not everything you come out and announce. There are things you quietly tell the traders, you discuss with their leaders. That look. Want to do this. And then they will tell you, look at the court. You say, okay, in the meantime, what is it you want to do? Because take note, when the violence was right in Onitsha, a lot of them moved to Asaba. That's why you see the real estate market in Asaba, Onitsha. Asaba, Ibuzo. Even to Ezi, down to Ogbashufu, name it. Boom, started booming. Even down to Abraka, down to Benin, down to Auchi, because a lot of these traders moved. You're not saying that there are people who need shops. Listen, how can you be happy to deny somebody of their shop and then you give it to another person? It doesn't make economic sense. I have said it before, and what I said is not what is playing now. I said that Onitsha has become too congested. That some of the markets in Onitsha should be moved to other towns. That Anambra should now become a complete industrial commercial state. That you don't need to be looking for foreign investors. Encourage some of the traders. For instance, like GUO. GUO, the old GUO motors. He's the one who took concession for Anambra Motor Manufacturing Company in Enugu. Yeah. Tell him GUO. It's not just to be assembly. Bring one of your plants, just like Innocent, bring one of your plants down here. Bring one of your plants to Anambra, to any of it, even if it's your hometown. Let's get a job. You can talk to some of those big guys. There are a lot of those big, even like a make-up. If you say a make-up plants, I think it's about 5,000 shops. Tell him a make-up, it's not just about trading. We need factories so that we can employ our youth. Yeah. A make-up bring investors. You come and invest. Even if it's in your hometown or Ifite, come and put a factory there. You start challenging these big guys. Obi Kubana and others. Obi Kubana is not just selling Dogu bitters. No. Obi Kubana come and put down a factory in Oba. By the time you challenge these guys, you challenge like 100 of these guys. Even if it is 20 that respond, put factories in the various towns, you will see the sea change. You will see how things will change. But instead of that, the one that is existing, you want to destroy. I think, some of these people lack a sense of history. And that is why you see these things happening. I made a post on Facebook. I was shocked at the engagement. The number of people that responded, I was shocked. I said, Governor of Delta State, Sheriff Obore,
yeah,
should just expand, Ibuzo. Let there be, a plaza in Ibuzo that these traders can move to. Since Soludo looks bent on taking over Onitsha Main Market, some people were insulting me. Some people from Anambra, I think, were insulting me. From Delta were insulting me. I said, when did it become a crime to, I push a business idea? Oh, Nigerians, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think Soludo should take this easy. You should take this easy. There was yesterday, there is today, there will still be tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, of course. I saw that message as sent by Emeka Amadnago. Lots of people, from the Delta end were saying, no, they shouldn't take their seat at home to Delta State. And some other people said, you should remain with whatever your seat at home in Anambra, and lots of other things. But it was indeed an interesting engagement right there on Emeka's page. But in summary, I would love to believe, quoting a phrase by sociologist Emily Durkheim, she coined a word, a phrase called collective effervescence. And that is what the agitators are going through. The desire of moving in sympathical to a cause that might be detrimental to them. But at the same time, Chukwuma Soludo should have a sit-down meeting with these people and understand the pain points and know how to solve the problem. This wild goose chase would not help anyone, because it's not just affecting Anambra, it's equally affecting the entirety of the southeast and the south region, right? People who would love to go to Akwa Ibom and Calabar have to go through the Niger Bridge and all that. It's a problem for them. Usually when this sit at home is ongoing, and we would love to believe that if this is solved, a better Nigeria we would have. Thank you so very much, Emeka Amadnago and Barrister Francis Feli. Truly do appreciate your incisive thoughts.
Thank you so much.
All right, beautiful. That's about the time we have. Love to say thank you for your time and making this a date. Wherever you've watched or streamed from around the world, love to say thank you. Please do well to visit us if you may. You can find us at enterprise@tvnews.com to read up on everything we have talked about today. You can equally go to Enterprise TV7 to download, share to your friends and folks, and let's have the engagement going on. For all your comments, you can actually drop them there, and we will definitely respond to you. My name is Henry Igubike.
And my name is Kendi Bodoni.
Have yourself a splendid